What if ants were the size of elephants? You'd probably scream, or run, or both. But let's pause for a second and imagine a world where these tiny six-legged creatures suddenly became towering monsters, stomping around like nature's tanks. First, let's talk numbers. An average ant is around 5 millimeters long. An African elephant is about 6,000 times longer, and roughly a billion times heavier. So, if an ant somehow became elephant-sized while keeping its proportions, its body would weigh several hundred tons. That's not just elephant heavy, that's crush a city block heavy. But it wouldn't last long. Insects don't scale up like that. In fact, biology has very strict rules. Ants breathe through tiny holes in their exoskeletons called spiracles. There are no lungs, they rely on diffusion, which works fine when you're the size of a rice grain. But when you're the size of a school bus, you'd suffocate in seconds. So unless evolution gave our mega ant a complete internal overhaul, including lungs, a circulatory system, and reinforced bones, it would collapse under its own weight before you had time to say, "Fire the bug spray." But let's ignore physics for a moment. Let's say, by some mad twist of science, a bunch of ants did grow to the size of elephants and survive. Your backyard is now a war zone. Why? Because ants are terrifyingly organized. They communicate with pheromones, march in military columns, and have dedicated roles. Workers, soldiers, queens. Now imagine that structure, but scaled up. Instead of a single anthill, you'd have an underground megacity. Instead of a line of ants on the sidewalk, you'd have a highway of armored insect tanks with jaws strong enough to crack open a car. And those jaws? Some ants can already carry 50 times their body weight. That's like a human lifting a school bus. Now imagine an elephant-sized ant lifting 50 elephants. It's not just absurd, it's nightmare fuel. Entire buildings could be hauled away like picnic crumbs, and they're fast. Proportionally, ants are sprinters. Scale up their stride, and suddenly you've got a creature the size of a house running faster than a sports car. You can't outrun it, you can't hide, and worst of all, you can't reason with it. It's not here for peace talks, it's here for sugar. Let's not forget their social structure. In some ant colonies, there can be up to 1 million individuals, all acting like a single mind. If just 100 of them turned gigantic, that's an army. If 1,000 did, it's an extinction-level event. Humans would have to abandon cities, retreat to the oceans, or, more realistically, build giant glass domes and hope the ants don't figure out how to climb. Military intervention. Not promising. These aren't soft targets. Their exoskeletons, already tough, would become like biological armor. Tank shells might just bounce off. Flamethrowers might slow them down. But remember, these are creatures that have survived for over 100 million years. They have fought off predators, adapted to deserts, rainforests, and your kitchen. You really think they can't take on the Marines? And the worst part? They don't sleep. Not like we do. Ants work in shifts. So while you're trying to recover after the first wave, they're regrouping, reinventing, coming back stronger. Oh, and remember the queen? She's somewhere underground, the size of a blue whale now, pumping out hundreds of eggs a day. The longer you wait, the more the army grows. In short, the world would be overrun. Civilization would collapse. Not with a bang, but with a crunch. The sound of millions of mandibles chewing through concrete, steel, and everything you love. But here's a fun twist. Maybe they'd leave us alone. Maybe giant ants would be too busy building their empire to bother with our species. Maybe we'd become the ants, scurrying around their feet, trying not to get crushed. So, what if ants were the size of elephants? Let's just hope they never find out how to grow. If you enjoyed this weird ride through nightmare biology, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a question that probably shouldn't have been asked. See you in the next one.